Good morning, dear ones, and a very happy Monday to you all. I hope you're well and are continuing to do fabulously on your journey of self-knowledge, because self-knowledge brings self-respect and self-love as well. And I hope that you're going through the things that you've achieved in your life. So how did those questions work? How are the journaling questions going? I know that some of you are struggling a little bit with them, but remember to be honest with yourself and to be aware of what it brings up. Okay, so by now we are learning, we're sort of almost halfway through the chakra system, and we understand how it works in the body, and we're also understanding how each chakra works with our body individually. We're understanding that each chakra is developed for a period of 7 years before we obviously move on to the next one. And we also know that it's a logical progression through life as we learn to deal with the outside world and its relationship with our inner world. We've learned about the base chakra, we've learned about the sacral chakra, we've learned about the solar plexus chakra. And with those, we've delved into the survival instinct. We've dealt with our birth and pregnancy trauma, as well as our experiences as a toddler and small child. And we've also started understanding fear, where it comes from in our life and how we react to it and where that is seated. We also have understood all about pleasure and guilt and how to deal with it. And we've also learned about our power center and what has happened in our lives from the age of 14 to 21 to create the self-esteem and confidence that we have today. And the ideas of our self-worth, what has motivated our choices in life due to the patterns we have created. So what we're going to do now is we're moving on to the fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra. And this one is developed between the ages of 21 to 28. So this is our early 20s. This is basically when we go out in the world as an adult. And this is very often the first love stage of our lives, if you know what I mean. The stage of our lives where a relationship that we have with other people as well as with ourselves is now no longer helicoptered by our parents in any way. We're out in the world, we're making our own decisions, we're falling in love with the people we want to fall in love with, whether they're right for us or not. And let's have a look at how that experience in our life, how that is going to domino affect our love relationship with ourselves and moving forward in our lives with our relationships. So the element of the heart chakra is air. The ruling planet is, of course, Venus. I'm sure you could have told me that. Its sense is touch, of course. And this is where we all understand how important the sense of touch is, whether it's us touching ourselves or whether it's somebody else touching us. Its astrological sign is Libra and Taurus. Music, nature sounds, including the sounds of whales, dolphins, singing bells, the roar of the ocean, and the seashore. Food, green leafy vegetables, of course, because the color of this one is green. Spinach, kale, dandelion greens. Air vegetables, which are broccoli. It's got a lot of air within the tops of the little treetops. Cauliflower, cabbage, celery, squash, etc. Liquids, green teas, spices, basil, sage, thyme, cilantro, parsley. And then when we look at our essential oils, also sort of very green and pink, because pink is the color of universal love. Pine, bergamot, rose, geranium, and clary sage. Crystals include watermelon tourmaline, aventurine, which is also green, emerald, jade, peridot, and rose quartz, moonstone, and azurite. I think there's my piece of azurite over there. Looks like a beautiful azure sea. Right, its Sanskrit name is Anahata, and its purpose is love and balance between body and spirit. Its life lesson is forgiveness and compassion for oneself and others. Forgiveness, compassion for oneself and for others. Its color is green and pink. Its location is in the middle of the chest, okay, exactly where the thymus gland is. The heart, the cardiac plexus is often spoken about. Its endocrine gland is the thymus gland, THYMUS, for those of you who are taking notes. Its identity is social. It's about being out there. This is the time when we're out in the world. We're now no longer under our parents' roof, under our helicopter, under our umbrella of home, and we're out in the world. We've gone out and we're making our own way in the world. Its identity is social, okay? Its orientation is all about self-acceptance and the acceptance of others. And of course, its demon or counterforce is grief. Its basic right is to love and be loved. Balanced characteristics of this chakra: compassion, being compassionate, being loving, being empathetic, being self-loving, being altruistic, being peaceful and balanced, and having a good immune system. Okay, so when we're looking at the time in our lives that we're developing this beautiful chakra, obviously it is going to have a knock-on effect from all of the things that have come before it. So your base chakra, your sacral chakra, and your solar plexus chakra. Bearing in mind that the chakra just before this was all about our confidence. So if our confidence is not very good, when we go out into the world and we're developing the chakra of love, what is happening? If our issues with our confidence and our ego are arrogant, and if we've got hectic, excess and deficient energies in that chakra, it's going to have that effect on how we show ourselves to the world and how we understand our encounters with love and with touch. And remember, when we are out of touch, it is when the spirit and the physical, so when the etheric and the physical is out of touch with itself, so we are out of touch with ourselves as well. I think that's a good enough start to the morning today, and I hope that you had a wonderful weekend. Please, folks, remember the 4 agreements. Being impeccable with your word includes being impeccable with yourself in the way that you speak to yourself. Make sure that the words that you speak to yourself are filled with love, unconditional love for yourself. Stop judging yourself, stop criticizing yourself, because that is probably what's tripping you up more than anything else. It only takes 40 days to make or break a habit. Be prepared with replacement love speak. When you speak to yourself and you notice that you are not speaking to yourself with love, have something written down that you've prepared beforehand to be able to remind yourself of how much you love you, so that when the criticism habit pops up, you can change it. When the judgmental self-speak comes up, you can change it into love. Be impeccable with your word, because what you think about, you bring about. If you're thinking criticism and you're seeing yourself with criticism, then you're going to be criticizing everybody else. And this is how it works, is when we see ourselves in a certain way and we criticize ourselves, we are automatically going to be critical of other people, judgmental of other people. If we feel that we do not have, if there's things that we scold ourselves about, let's say you have a certain habit that you do not like about yourself, and you constantly criticize yourself about that. Somebody who does not, or who has overcome that, if you are seriously scolding yourself with that, you will find that you might actually be then scolding towards somebody else, even if they have managed to achieve what you would like to achieve. And we sometimes find ourselves bringing others down if we are so inclined, if that's part of our ego. If we are ego driven and there are issues in the solar plexus chakra, then very often we don't know how to build ourselves up. And the only thing that we then do is bring everybody else down with our criticism and our scolding, because of that's the way we speak to ourselves. So first things first, be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. What other people think of you is none of your business, because you cannot get into their head to change their opinion of you. Okay? Do not assume anything, because we are only doing the best we can with the knowledge we have. And if you don't know something, ask about it. Today, just do your best. And then the 5 agreements, just for today, do not worry, because you give your power to that thing. And the universe has your back. So what do you need to spend your energy worrying on? Just for today, do not anger, because you are, you're not helping yourself out. You're the one holding on to the coal if you are angering. Just for today, work honestly and hard on yourself. That's where the hard work needs to be done. And do your work honestly as well. Just for today, be kind to all living things. Even spiders, even ants, they're also living things. Just for today, be grateful for every single thing you have. Have a wonderful day.